air we breathe. Most of us take it for granted. We assume the air in our neighborhood is clean. But there's a major polluter here, a polluter that increases your family's risk of emphysema, bronchitis, cancer. That polluter could be you. When we think of air pollution, most of us think of industrial smokestacks. No one would want to live here. No one would want to raise a family here. But in terms of air quality, a lot of us do. Many of our residential areas frequently are blanketed with as much pollution in the air as a factory district.
A lot of days I wake up and I think it's foggy day, and it's not fog. It's toxic.
Under these conditions, people with lung ailments are often forced to seek medical attention. Even a healthy person is at risk. Everyday activities like jogging or riding a bike become hazardous to your health. There's one major reason for the air pollution in these neighborhoods: wood smoke. The smoke from wood stoves, fireplaces, and fireplace inserts.
Wood smoke can be a problem anywhere in the state of Washington, from our major cities like Spokane, Yakima, and Seattle, to communities that are nestled in the valleys of rural Washington. Anywhere you have a number of residents living together, there could be a serious wood smoke problem.
This is a high-volume air sampler, one of 3 we have on the roof. This filter was installed this morning and it'll start running at midnight tonight. Now take a look at this. This filter is taken from a bad day. This is the kind of day we call a burning ban. This is what's going into your lungs.
Elliot Bean knows firsthand about the problems with wood burning. As an asthma sufferer, he's the first to feel it when the air goes bad.
We're just getting into the fall season. It's starting to cool off. People are starting to fire up their wood-burning stoves, and already my son Elliot, who's 5 years old, is starting to wheeze as a result, starting to cough, have that asthmatic cough as a result of the wood smoke in the air.
There is a significant risk to anyone, basically. Asthmatics seem to be more sensitive than the normal patient with wood stove smoke. So Elliot's in a particularly tough situation. His sinuses are made worse by wood smoke, his sinuses make his asthma worse, and the wood smoke makes his asthma worse.
Okay, Elliot, we're going to take a great big breath, and you're going to put your lips around the tube and blow it out as hard and fast as you can, okay? One big breath. Are we ready?
Studies have shown that people exposed to wood smoke have a lot more problems with upper respiratory infections, including sinus infections. And also they have more problems with wheezing and asthma. And even normal children have a higher incidence of upper respiratory infections and cough when they live in a home that's heated by wood stoves.
When there is a lot of smoke in the air from wood-burning stoves and fireplaces, Elliot has to come in the house. He would much rather be out riding his bike or doing, swinging in the backyard or climbing. But if he inhales too much smoke, he'll begin to cough and he'll begin to have asthma problems.
Elliot's neighborhood is plagued by smoky wood stoves and fireplaces.
If you're burning your wood-burning stove, and it seems like a simple thing maybe to you, but you don't realize that you're turning someone else's entire lifestyle upside down. You're making someone else's child ill to the point where they can't even play outside like a normal child. They can't go outside and ride their bike or swing. They have to stay in the house so that they don't smell the smoke from your stove and have problems breathing. I don't think that's fair. I just don't think that's fair.
Here are just a few of the toxics in wood smoke: carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, and nitrogen oxides. Just as dangerous as these gases are the microscopic particles in the smoke. These cancer-causing particles bury themselves deep in our lungs. Over 1 million wood stoves and fireplaces in Washington state release more particles into our air each winter than all industry combined.
Some of the chemicals that are put into the air by wood stoves are more carcinogenic, in other words, more likely to cause cancer in laboratory animals than even cigarette smoke, and we certainly know that cigarette smoke has been associated with increased incidence of lung cancer.
Even inside your home, there's no escape from wood smoke.
A lot of that outdoor air is brought into the house through normal gaps in the home's construction, and so studies done here at the university have documented that the indoor air can be up to 80% the same as the outdoor air with respect to pollutants. In other words, you can have almost as many pollutants inside the house as you can outside the house, and if you have a lot of neighbors who use wood stoves and don't burn them efficiently or cleanly, then you can have a real problem, even if you don't have a wood stove in the house.
You'd think that our famous Northwest rain would wash away the smoke. It doesn't. The problem is stagnant winter air. No wind means temperature inversions.
Typically in the winter across the state of Washington, we're likely to see air inversions. This is when the warm air from the atmosphere traps the cool air near the ground, effectively forming a lid. This is also the time of year when residents are using their wood stoves and their wood heating appliances. Unfortunately, during these periods, that wood smoke has nowhere to go. It circulates around the neighborhoods and gets into the homes, and it can adversely affect the residents living there. This is when you're most likely to see a burn ban.
There doesn't have to be an inversion or a burn ban for smoke to be a problem.
Every winter we receive hundreds of complaints about excessive wood smoke. This occurs when people aren't burning properly. We feel if we can tell people when to burn and how to burn properly, they will try and do the right thing.
This house here clearly depicts what you can do as far as burning improperly. More than likely the person is maybe using wet wood, or they're starving the stove or fireplace for air. As you can clearly see, the smoke is drifting from this individual's chimney into the neighbor's yard and also into the neighbor that's adjacent or 2 houses down. You can clearly see that this person is impacting others, and that's not acceptable. Everybody has the right to breathe clean air, and this person is infringing on that right, and that's what this program is about.
Washington state law prohibits chimney smoke that's thicker than 20% opacity. The opacity measurement refers to what degree smoke obscures your view of what's behind it. So if you're producing smoke that's thicker than this, you're violating the law, whether there's a burn ban or not. Fortunately, it's not difficult to reduce or eliminate the amount of smoke you produce. Except for very brief periods during starting and refueling, you should be able to burn with practically no visible smoke at all. Alan Butler takes several steps to make his wood stove burn cleaner. The first is to split his firewood into small pieces. Smaller pieces burn more evenly and efficiently than larger ones. Perhaps most importantly, he burns only dry wood. Wet wood is a major cause of smoky fires.
This is how you should dry wood. You put it in your wood shed, stack it up, let the air flow around it. Ideally, you want to do it early in the year, in the spring and summer, so that that nice heat in the later part of the summer will do its job, and high heat, low humidity, the air kind of blowing through it will dry it out.
Dry wood will be lighter in weight and color and will often have small cracks on the end. State law prohibits burning wood that contains more than 20% water. The driest and cleanest logs of all are made out of compressed sawdust. The worst polluters often are those who starve their fires of oxygen by trying to make them last all night or all day while they're not even home. The key to burning cleaner is to build a smaller fire and run the damper wide open. Give that fire plenty of air. Dampering down versus providing air makes a big difference in your smoke production. The next step in reducing your smoke output is to scrap your old uncertified stove and upgrade to a new wood or pellet stove certified by the Environmental Protection Agency.
We've put together a display of different technologies on this truck here to demonstrate the differences between certified stoves, uncertified stoves, gas stoves, and pellet stoves. Uncertified stoves are older conventional designs, and as you can see, they smoke quite heavily during operation. The next one to your left is a certified wood-burning stove, burning the same fuel with virtually no visible emissions. So there's a big difference in those two. The third one in from the left is a gas stove, operating on liquid propane in this case. And the one on the far left is a pellet stove, which is a recycled biomass fuel that's also burns very cleanly, as you can see. At this point, given the technologies that exist today in solid fuel burning, there's really no reason for someone to have a stove that emits a lot of smoke and emissions and pollutes the air.
Manufacturers like Kirkland's Travis Industries spend thousands of hours developing and testing their wood and pellet stove designs. Their hard work is paying off in stoves that mean greater heating efficiency and less smoke.
The certified wood stoves of today, through field studies and laboratory studies, have indicated an emissions reduction of about 70%. The net result being there's cleaner air.
Bob Dunshee replaced his old stove with a new certified model. He now uses about a third less wood than he used to and has more control over his heat.
I like to go out every so often and see how much smoke's coming out of the chimney, and if I can go out and see no smoke coming out of the chimney, a sense of satisfaction to that.
You can also have a fireplace that produces virtually no smoke.
With gas, it's easy and convenient and clean, and with a flip of a switch, you get the heat.
Gas stoves and fireplaces provide instant fire and can be turned on and off by a light switch or even a remote control. And natural gas is very economical.
Gas, depending on the appliance, runs anywhere from like 16 cents to 30 cents an hour. There's no bugs, no bark on the floor, no sparks to worry about. You just turn it on and sit back and read your paper.
Wood stoves and fireplaces are nice to look at, but the cleanest way to heat our homes is with a high-efficiency natural gas or oil furnace, or with electricity. The set-it-and-forget-it operation of these modern central heating systems produce efficient, clean warmth. Many people who heat with wood are concerned about saving money. But unless you harvest your own wood, you may not be saving anything. As this illustration shows, when you factor in all the costs, wood is not the cheapest way to heat. Natural gas comes out way ahead in cleanliness, convenience, and cost. One great way to both save money and save our air quality is to better insulate your home.
Insulation helps reduce pollution by reducing heating needs, so that no matter what fuel you use, whether it's wood, natural gas, or oil, you use less of it with a well-insulated home. That helps keep the air clean.
Remember, there are a few simple steps to improving the air we all breathe. If you're burning wood, be sure to split your wood into small pieces. Make sure it's fully dry, or to be sure, use compressed sawdust logs. Make a smaller fire, and give it plenty of air. For heating your home, consider switching to a clean heating alternative: natural gas, oil, electricity, or an EPA-certified wood or pellet stove.
As we become educated in the use of wood stoves and wood heat, we can make lifestyle choices. We can certainly use clean-burning wood stoves and use those stoves properly, or we can choose another form of heat that's cleaner. Each in our own way, we can do our part to clean up the air.
We value our way of life here in the Pacific Northwest. That's why the problem of wood smoke air pollution is so important. It's time to clear the air. And with clean heating techniques, we can.